What's up, everyone? For the very beginning of this video, I just want to state that I'm not promoting any sort of an agenda, as some people might think, or they might jump to conclusions and say, oh, he's promoting an agenda, or I'm promoting some sort of, I don't know, anything like that. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you and giving you the facts of, or at least what this article is stating is happening. I'm not promoting any agenda. I'm not saying anything is or is not a certain way. I'm not promoting the GW agenda or the global warming agenda. I'm not promoting anything. I do realize temperatures definitely have risen in several places across this world. Climate change is taking place, and that those are facts, and that natural cycles have happened throughout history. Some places are getting colder than others, and some places are getting warmer than others. That's just what's happening. But there are crazy things that are happening right now worldwide, and part of it does seem prophetic. Part of it does seem like the elites are messing with things, so I'll just state that. I'm not promoting any of these agendas. So, with that being said, here is the news. The world is boiling. Heat wave shatters records in parts of California and kills 54 in Quebec, Canada. Melts roads in Great Britain and engulfs Iran and sets temperature records in Africa. So that's just some of what's going on. They said this summer is going crazy. Heat waves triggering dramatic living conditions around this world, while major heat waves are bringing in record-breaking temperatures to Southern California. While if you go over to parts of the Arctic, they're having record cold temperatures, even colder than what originally was thought it could even get in those areas. So colder than what they thought could ever be possible, even in the Arctic. So while you while you go to the Arctic, it's the coldest that's ever been recorded there. So, and then move back over to the other areas of land, not necessarily the ice, but back to the land masses. Southern California's heat wave is continuing to break records as well, and another heat wave has killed 54 people in Canada, in the Quebec area, and Britain is baking and its roads are melting. So finally, the area of Africa has witnessed its highest temperatures that are ever recorded in Algeria, 124.3 degrees. Now, I realize some of these temperatures are like, well, it was just maybe it's a degree, or maybe but still it is the warmest temperature ever recorded. So some people were asking, with breaking record temperatures in Iran and Africa and Canada, the United States, places of Europe, Russia, even Siberia, Russia reached 93 degrees stated, and that's just not normal. So they said, is the end coming? Let's start with the United States. So a major heat wave has been bringing record-breaking temperatures to Southern California. They said they reached 115 degrees. The real feel in Nashville, Tennessee was 116 degrees. The temperature reached above 100 on the 4th of July. It was the fourth hottest 4th of July on record, and it was the hottest we've been since 2012 here in the Tennessee area. So heat records are breaking in Los Angeles, broken records all over California, and many other areas. There are heat warnings, and there's been heat advisories all over the place. This is past news here, but we finally cooled down 2 days ago. We were cooler yesterday. We were cooler a couple of days ago. So we've had a couple of cooler days, and it felt spring-like on Sunday and early Monday. It was in the 60s, so it was very awesome. The temperatures were awesome, but as the night moved on, then it warmed up as Sunday night moved on. Throughout the night, we got warmer, which is strange, but that's how it happens now. Things like that happen. It warmed up, and now it's hot again, summer-like conditions. So red flag warnings with 117-degree weather in Malibu reaching 95, 117 scorching in the valleys. Red flag warnings were put out, obviously, and Canada, 54 people passed away because of the hot temperatures, and mid-90s Sunday morning, and Monday about 20 degrees higher than the normal temperatures of this time of year for Canada. So the Environment Canada lifted the warnings on Friday, despite the expectations that temperatures will once again rise early this week, which they already have across the United States and Canada. So there are just multiple high-pressure domes right now. There are multiple high-pressure systems stationed over these areas causing these conditions, they say. So as temperatures continue to sizzle across the UK this weekend, I've had people speak with me from overseas on Twitter, that speak to me on Twitter and share share with me. They stated that over in Scotland and over in areas of England and places like that, and some of you on YouTube have shared with me as well, that you all are going through some impressive heat waves over there. Even for those areas, they're usually not that warm. So the Brits have taken to social media to some of the pictures and heat waves. Britain is currently baking in record-breaking heat waves. There are naturally some unexpected problems that arise from the lovely weather, but as you can see here, this road just sunk in, and the rubber melts and the asphalt melted. So the road actually melted under this garbage truck. So in the UK, so obviously when the road's melting, it's hot. So in Berkshire, the hole in the road actually melted the asphalt. They said the heat melted the asphalt, and an unnamed 24-year-old man's foot became stuck in the tarmac beneath as it gave away. His foot became stuck in there and they had to get it out. Today they had an incident where a young man stepped out, and this happened on July 5th. He stayed calm. They said he called 999, which is their emergency number. Thankfully, he didn't break his ankle. He was wearing his granddad's shoes. So, Dr. Martens. Hashtag stay safe, they said. He became stuck, and then the road gave way and melted underneath him. So an intense heat wave is shattering temperature records in Iran and the Caucasus nations of the following areas: Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia, causing power shortages that added to the discomfort in the region, causing power outages in the Middle East. Weather experts said that back on July 6th, that heat wave was the result of the high-pressure dome, or the heat dome that formed over the Eurasian region, the European Asian regions, and it reached as far north as southern Russia, where temperatures actually hit record highs back on June 28th. So the temperatures soared above record highs on July 4th in the Middle Eastern capitals. Earlier this week, on July 1st, they reached record high temperatures. And the planet's hottest continent, Africa, is already used to enduring the hottest weather ever, but it was actually the hottest ever reliably measured. An Algerian city soared to 124 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 51.3 degrees Celsius, Thursday, adding to the onslaught of records for extreme heat set around this planet during the past 10 days. So the blistering hot temperature readings that were observed in several places here, the highest temperatures reliably ever measured in that area. The record was first identified by weather records expert. So they said that this probably all-time heat record is one of many set over the past 10 days because of numerous intense heat domes scattered around the northern hemisphere. Where the records have been set include the following: North America, Europe, Eurasia, the Middle East, and the Arctic. Temperature records were set there as well. So they actually had record highs and record lows in the Arctic areas. They were record colds, and in some places actually were record warm in the Arctic. So it depended on where you were. But I see this as a possible trend because, up and down wise, we might be fine next year, because if you remember 5 to 6 years ago, it seems to be every 5 to 6 years or so, back in 2006, we went through brutal hot weather. The real feel was like 125 degrees. The real temperature was like over 100. It was 106 for us. And then in 2012, 6 years later, we reached 109 degrees as the actual temperature and 120 and above as the real feel once again. So we reached the highest temperature ever recorded. That was that was south of here, but it was in the Nashville area. That actually reached a record of 109 degrees in 2012. They said it was the hottest ever recorded. So that was for that summer. That was 6 years afterward. So fast forward 5 to 6 years afterward, which actually it's 5 years, 2018. So think about that. 6 and then 12, and then 12 to 18. 6 years later. So every 6 years we seem to be going through this. 2006, 2012, 2018. So, I mean, it's a possibility that every 6 years or so these temperatures could be on a trend of this kind of record heat. Because that's what I seemingly notice this. That's what I seem to notice. Every 6 years. 2006, it was brutally hot. 2012, it was brutally oppressively hot. And now in 2018, once again, it's been brutally oppressively hot after we've had pretty mild, pretty rainy, very rainy years, very normal. I mean, very below average and then normal. One summer, a few summers ago, we actually had conditions that were 60 degrees in the middle of July. They said 60 degrees midday, mid-July. Obviously not normal. That's what the meteorologist said for up in Oregon and other places like that. And here, it was in the 50s, and Kentucky actually reached 39 or 40 several years ago, so it happens. You have ups and downs. Whether it's summer or winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, it's just, this does happen. Now, I do believe that they are messing with things, and I do believe that messing with the natural balance of things, I do believe there are natural cycles, and I believe this could be one of a 6-year cycle. Maybe. Every 6 years, it seems like this has been happening. It's on a trend. Superheat worldwide. So, I'm just saying that maybe that's a possibility. So, every 6 years, we seem to have a trend. 2006, 2012, and 2018. So, it could be a cycle of this heat, and I'm not stating global warming is the cause, or there's a specific cause that they're doing it, or it's prophetic. I believe it all kind of goes in together, but I don't promote an agenda, so I'm not stating that. I'm just stating that I do believe that it could be a natural cycle of this world. Just saying. Just a theory. It does seem to happen every 6 years or so. So heat waves like this, they said they are likely to be more frequent as we go forward through existence, but that they've been in the past. Last month, they said a monthly heat wave actually baked the entire country of Mexico, if you remember melting the traffic lights in the roads, so get prepared for this crazy type of weather. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Just showing you a bit of news taking place with the heat waves and things like that. How the planet is baking right now, but it could go downward. We had a Christmas of, we had a 76 degree Christmas. Some people had a 90 something degree Christmas 2 years ago, so 2.5 years ago. So, I mean, and then we had record cold right afterwards, so the weather is sporadic. You never know what to expect. The weather is very sporadic. But anyway, I've got another prediction video that I want to do very soon. But anyway, much love and peace. Bye. That's all for this video.